How to make a plaster sculpture figure with wire armature. Step 1. Gather supplies. You will need a coil of wire, a 12-inch ruler, wire cutters, a roll of masking tape, newspaper or newsprint, a table cover, a pair of scissors, plaster gauze, and a bowl of water. Step 2. Cut the wire to size. We are creating a figure that is about 6 inches high, so we will need one piece of wire that is 12 inches long and one piece of wire that is 6 inches long. Unspool the wire and lay along the length of your ruler to measure. Use the wire cutters to cut off the desired length, for us 12 inches, by clamping down and gently rocking the wire back and forth to separate the pieces. Now that we have the 12-inch section finished, we need to repeat the steps for the 6-inch section of wire. Step 3. Bending the larger wire. Now that we have our 2 pieces of wire, put aside the 6-inch piece of wire for later. We start by loosely bending the 12-inch wire in half. Now we need to twist the wire to make the head of our figure. Hold the top loop still and twist the ends in order to make the head. The head should be about the size of your thumb. Slightly smaller is alright. Now we're ready to make feet. Bend the ends of the wire to make the feet. Remember, the larger the feet, the better it will stand, so don't make tiny feet. Step 4. Bending the smaller wire. Putting aside our figure and taking the 6-inch wire, we can now make our figure's arms. Start by looping the ends of the wire back on themselves to create hands. Use caution when bending the wire because the ends can be very sharp. It's easy to protect your fingers, however. All you need is a length of tape. Wrap the ends of the tape around the pointed end, twisting until the entire piece is stuck down. Repeat for the other side. Now we are ready to attach the arms to the body that we have already created. Instead of twisting the wire, we are going to use a piece of tape to attach the arms to the body. I recommend using 2 pieces of tape that crisscross each other in order to make a more secure bond. The building of our armature is now complete. Of course, we're not really done until we pose the figure. Step 5. Bend feet until the figure stands. This is a very important step because we need our figures to stand on their own before we get to the plaster stage. You may need to curl the wire around to make a wider area for the armature to balance on. Play around with it until yours stands on its own. Step 6. Add volume. We will be using strips of newspaper or newsprint to add our bulk to our figures. To do this, simply crumble the strip and wrap around the figure in the areas desired, particularly looking at the head and the feet. Once you have the amount of bulk that you are looking for and have sufficiently smooshed the newspaper down so that it does not have air trapped there, you can wrap with a piece of tape. our base is wide and sturdy so that our figure does not fall over later on. Pose your figure on one of the previous steps, you will need to do so now. There are a wide variety of different poses that you can choose for your person. Feel free to experiment and test out new ways to pose and move your armature. Step 8. Add plaster gauze. For this step, you'll need to cover your surface in a waterproof sheet or tablecloth to protect your table from water and plaster dust. You will also need your bowl of water and your roll of plaster gauze. Using a dry pair of scissors, you will need to cut the roll into strips. These strips should be approximately the width of 1 finger wide. Continue cutting strips until you have a good size pile. Step 9. Add plaster strips. Now that we have a good pile of plaster strips, we need to attach them to our armature. Take the strip and dip it into the bowl of water. Then, to remove the excess water now on the strip, make your fingers like a pair of scissors and squeegee down the sides, holding the strip over the bucket of water to remove the excess drop. Now spread out the strip on the project, wrapping along wherever you need. Smooth out any of the dimples that are originally in the gauze to make a clean, soft surface. Repeat these steps with the other strips on your pile, making sure to overlap your pieces to create the best bond. Make sure that while wrapping the plaster strips on your project, you leave no areas of armature still exposed. And that is how you create a plaster figure sculpture from a wire armature.